You don't need
It's
introduction.
an inside joke.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Twist Gaming. We are streaming live from Origins 2019 in Columbus, Ohio, giving you a front row seat to all of the great board game coverage. We have a very special guest with us, a little different, not necessarily a game. I have Laura and Jeff from Game On Tabletop. Jeff, a very familiar face.
Hi.
This is Jeff. I just want to make sure I pointed that out. So you guys have come here today to talk about something that isn't a board game. So that's a little different. What do you have to talk? What is Game On Tabletop?
So Game On Tabletop is a all-in-one solution for tabletop crowdfunding. So we are a crowdfunding platform dedicated to tabletop games, but we are more than that because we try to integrate with all the different steps that are there around a tabletop crowdfunding. So obviously the platform, it integrates a pledge management system, it integrates lots of like auto-updating stretch goals and things like that, but then also connecting to the rest of the industry through different service providers we are partnering up with.
So do you have details about what kinds of examples you have for that, for service providers?
So we work obviously with fulfillment solutions, and then there's marketing, and there's production, and then it can be anything like even from freelance graphic designers that we have already connected to publishers out there, or translation services or similar. So it's really about looking at where's the project manager at, what is their project about, and where there might be gaps in the process that they're still looking for a solution or need a backup plan, and that's when we come in and try to fill those out as well.
So what separates you from Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Like, what is the real highlights for somebody who's creating a board game related creative project?
Yeah, so because we are 100% targeted to tabletop games, we can adapt to those specific needs. And so one of the biggest factors is that we integrate with the pledge management solutions. So there's no need for an additional pledge management service after the campaign. So you have instant access to all of your data, and all of that gives you more time to actually consecrate that to creating a great game and to engaging with your community, to bringing them all on board, getting the hype up, that's, I would say, that is the biggest difference, is that it's a tool created for tabletop publishers to bring out great new games.
So you've really looked at the pain points for tabletop creators using Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and you've really tried to build a tool and a solution to help alleviate those, and that's very much so from the creator side. What about from the backer side?
For the backer side, what they get is obviously an interface that's also targeted to them, in the sense that we only have tabletop games, right? And our backers, they come there because they want to back tabletop games, and they don't want to be necessarily cluttered with a music album or a potato salad or something else that might come out there. I mean, I think those are all great projects, but that's not necessarily what our community is looking for.
Exactly.
And so they find that, and they also know, obviously, we don't guarantee any success, or we are not responsible for the projects, but still, for us, the most important part is that it's going to be an exciting adventure for everyone involved, and so we will do everything we can to help creators fund and to also fulfill in the end. And so that also gives like a sense of security behind that. Is just, we don't just leave project managers out there all by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really big point that you were mentioning, where when you put a campaign on Kickstarter, you're using their tool, but what you and your team are offering, if I understand this correctly, is essentially support from your team.
We'll take ownership as well with the companies that we partner with. Whereas, like, if you look at other crowdfunding platforms, you're pretty much on your own, and you can reach out to them for help. But we'll always actively work with people to enhance their campaigns. And
this is definitely your arena. So whereas if I reached out to a larger crowdfunding service and asked them about my specific tabletop gaming campaign, I might not get the same level of expertise as if I was putting the campaign on here. I know that the people that are behind this project are familiar with this arena and its niches and different facets.
Right. If you work with another service, they may have one or two members of a team that's dedicated to your entire category. Tabletop games is our entire category, and our entire team is dedicated to tabletop games.
I think that's fantastic. Twist Gaming has done a couple of Kickstarters. We're gearing up for another Kickstarter on July 1st, and we know what the pain points are of being creators on that. For the backers, Jeff had mentioned one interesting thing that I really thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're a backer, how does pledging a campaign work on this platform? Are you relegated to one box, essentially?
So as a backer, when you come to Game On and you discover a game that you like, well then you get all the presentation in there. We also allow for more spaces to, like, for example, highlight products, because some projects have like lots of different expansions or accessories, and so we give them a dedicated space. So it's already easier to kind of figure out what's going on. And then when they start backing, they go through the whole steps at once. So there will be the pledge level, and then there will be add-on selection, and then if that's a project that might be available in different languages, then they will have a language selection or a color selection or something like that coming up. And then they will also immediately get weight-based shipping, so depending on where they're located in, our system will pull out all the information and then calculate the right amount, so there's no need afterwards to come back in there and check out again. I mean, obviously throughout the campaign you can go back and modify your pledge and add something or switch out something, but you don't have to wait for another system, and you don't have to take any notes on your end to remember what you've actually backed.
Yeah, it's just much more intuitive, because if you go to another service, you usually are going to pledge maybe $50, $60 for a game. That would cost that, right? But as the campaign proceeds, there's so many add-ons that could come up. None of that is part of your original pledge. You have to somehow remember that in 3 months from now, when they send the update in your email asking for your more money, that maybe you'll need $100 then as well, and then the shipping will totally change, and you have no idea what that'll be. You'll deal with none of that with our platform.
So this is all because you guys have felt the pain points, and you've gone to do the work of integrating in the services that should be integrated to make this a more smooth and streamlined
So actually,
process.
we come really from a different angle, because the tools behind the platform were created by a French publisher, back in 2013, and when Kickstarter was not really available for French publishers, just on the French market.
Okay.
And so they just developed the tool that they wanted to have for crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And so it really comes from a publishing perspective.
Yeah.
It comes from using the tools. So many of our team were the very first users of that platform, and so they know the struggle day to day about what it's about to do a crowdfunding campaign. And then obviously we were also experienced other pain points that we've been able to discuss with other publishers that we might not have thought about right from the start, and we tried to adapt to those as much as possible on the go. We always develop more in that, but it really comes from hey, we've been there ourselves, and we thought out a tool and a strategy that we think fits what publishing is actually like. And so it's not just an assessment what other platforms do or not do. I mean, we separate ourselves from that. It's just we want to do what we think is a great opportunity and a solution, and we want to share that with more publishers and give them access to those tools.
So is the platform live as we speak?
Yes. We launched back in 2017 on the international scope, and so yeah, we've been doing great. We just finished a project with Paizo for the reprint of the Kingmaker campaign, and yeah. So
I think Reichbusters was the latest Mythic big miniatures game, right?
That was a late pledge campaign. So we also do late pledge campaigns. So those are campaigns that are on other platforms,
Okay.
and then use us as a pledge manager and a late pledge solution to gather more funds before to gather all the late pledges before they actually start out fulfilling.
Sometimes companies will do their foreign language editions on our platform too, because, like she said, we started there because there was no French solution for Kickstarter, so we have a large base already for those users looking for translated games. That isn't our focus, of course, but it's a good place to start too. So, yeah.
It's nice for a publisher to come to one place and have all the resources that they need consolidated for them, and that makes it, I think, that makes it better for backers, because then you have a better quality product at the end of everything.
At a price that's less, because our fees are also less. the other platforms too.
So we charge 5%, which is I think a similar percentage to most platforms, but we don't charge on shipping.
Okay.
So that makes a big difference there. And then it integrates the pledge minimum solution, which is an added cost for any other campaign. Yeah.
Wonderful. So where can our audience go now to see which campaigns are active on Game On Tabletop?
Well, go to www.gameontabletop.com, and then you will see all the ones that are currently live, and then you can browse to the other ones that have already been launched on Game On, and just check it out, and you can follow, and if you create an account and you subscribe to our newsletter, you will also be updated about anything new that launches, anything that might be upcoming and exciting, so check that out.
So do you have anything new, upcoming, and exciting?
So there are lots of projects gearing up. As always, I'd love to talk about all of them.
Even things at the show that I wish I could talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
But
maybe
obviously,
Gen Con, we can share some news.
But obviously, right now, we always have to. Generally, we leave it up to the publishers to do their announcements. Right. So, just stay tuned about what's upcoming there.
Sounds great. Very excited. Laura, Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show and talk to me.
Thank you for inviting us.
I'm really excited. Aww.
Yes.
Nice to have a familiar face. Thanks for coming on the show, Jeff.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. Folks, stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more really great live board game coverage from Origins 2019.
Bye.
Bye.